Stop. Hello, welcome to another episode of Indigenous Survival. I am your host, Jeff Soaring Hawk Gibson. Today I want to talk about saws. Now, I know a saw ain't the only cutting tool that you can possibly carry out in the woods. You can carry a hatchet, or whatever, if you want to call it a tomahawk. You can carry an axe. I mean, there's different things you can carry. Personally, to me, I would never carry an axe. It's too damn big. I'm not homesteading, so I'm not trying to fell trees that are, 5 and 6 foot in diameter or bigger. So, and being usually by yourself out there, cutting down something that size is impractical. For most needs, if you're building a shelter, something 5 or 6 inches in diameter is well more than enough. And then that comes to saws. Well, saws come in all kinds of various sizes, various brands. Everything from a 3-foot long bladed silky brand, which when you open it all the way out, it's, you got 6 foot of saw, 3 foot of blade and 3 foot of handle. It's nice, but why? Why on earth carry something that big? Again, what am I cutting down? A tree 4 foot in diameter? For what? I don't know. Even 3 foot in diameter. I have no idea why I would do that. Again, most things only require, 5 or 6 inch diameter or 8 inch diameter to do. You can build a lovely shelter, 6 to 8 inch diameter trees. Unless you're going to be homesteading, and then that's a whole totally different situation. Other than that, not even anything I'm sitting on this is honestly too big. Something, if I can get my lovely wife to turn around, something the size of that tree behind me. That is perfect size. That something like that is perfect size to cut down. Maybe not that short, but that big around. There's a lot I could do with those. It's a lot easier, a lot faster. But anyway, so the most common saws that you're going to have is either going to be a combination knife and saw, various size folding saws, or what's starting to become more popular now is the hand chainsaw. It's basically a chainsaw blade with 2 handles. Okay. I got a collection of a few of them here, and we'll see how well they work on each other. But like I said, before you hit them. Okay, like I said, there's about 4 different major types. I mean, various sizes and stuff like that. Carnivore is a good saw knife combo. People call it a machete. I don't. Machetes to me are really thin, 18 to 22 inch long blades. Yeah, this isn't. If you know about them, then fine. If not, what they are is they're about a 15 inch blade, full tang, got a nice handle, nice grip, but good blade. As you can see, this one's dirty. I never cleaned it, but from the last time I used it. But what it does have is a real saw blade. I don't know if my wife can zoom in on this. As you can see, this is a real saw blade. Blades are, for a real saw blade, outside of a tooth-backed, just little ridges. Real saw blade, they're actually offset, just like a regular saw. But as you can see, you got a decent amount of saw blade. Show you how it works. Let's see how well it saws. Remember, I'm not chopping with this. This is not what this video is for. I got paused for 1 second, guys. I got a friendly... Okay, sorry about the interruption, guys. I had to feed my squirrels. Just remember, I said this before in old videos. If you go to parks, take some peanuts, maybe some bird seed, some wild bird seed that you can buy at Kroger's or wherever. It doesn't cost that much, and feed the squirrels and the birds. I mean, look, they have a hard enough time with the way things are going, and you know, less and less trees that we're planting that actually do anything in the parks. I'm sorry to say this about the Parks Department, but they plant more pine trees than oaks and walnut trees and stuff like that. So you're actually cutting down the resources for the squirrels and birds. So it costs a couple bucks, and honestly, you get a little kick out. If you got kids, they'll get a kick out of watching the squirrels run up and snack a peanut. But anyway, so anyhow, remember, this is, I'm not cleaving with it, I'm not trying to chop with it. I'm just going to show you how well the real saw does work. Okay. And remember, I'm going to say this before I get started. I'm not going to try to cut through this whole damn log. I'm not. It's not even worth it. I'm just showing you how well it does saw on any of them. So, okay, overall, not too bad. It's short, so it does take a lot of extra effort. Now, would this be my go-to? Now, could I cut a tree down with this? Yeah, I can. Like I said, I wouldn't try to cut down a tree this size. It's pointless, okay? Nothing I need this size for. There's nothing I need this size for. 6-8 inches, yeah. Take my time. Why wear yourself out? Here to do it. Is it the best option? No. I mean, one reason it's not the best option for me, as you have seen, I got my hand up here. I got like this. This is a razor sharp blade. I can't put no downforce on it. So, yeah, I could cut my hand up. If I was to slip, I could get hurt. So is it ideal? No, it's not. But does it work? Yeah, and then it has the added benefit of having the blade. So yes, it does. It does work. However, would it be my first choice? No, it wouldn't be. Just for those two reasons alone. But if I couldn't carry anything else, yeah. Anything works if you take the time. But there is one saw you'll notice I do not even have out here. That's the wire saws. Wire saws are, to me, about pointless and useless. They break. Get something different. Okay, next one I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to lump these two together. Two different brands. I got them from different places. This one actually came in, it's made by Camillus. Came in one of those kits, little gift sets you usually see at Christmas time. You know, it has a knife, a saw, some of them have a shovel and a saw. Yeah, I like Camillus brand. That's the carnivores made by Camillus. My pocket knife is Camillus. But the other one I got off of Temu, I've already used this thing. I got about, I don't know, 6 different sizes of these from different manufacturers. So both of them are folding saws. Now you might say, okay, well, the only thing really different is the size. Okay. Both of them have about the same size, same tooth profile. Okay. I've used both of these. I've got several of these at home, like I said. Really the only difference in them is the size. And as far as that goes, like as you can see, you can clearly see way difference in sizes. I think this is about almost a 11.5 inch blade, and this is like a 6 inch blade. Okay, now, would I carry both of them? I don't know, maybe, depends. If I'm on alone, I'd want both, honestly. Or I'd want this and the carnivore. But let's say you're going for a couple day hike or whatever, honestly, then there's your best bet. It'll do most of the things. You're not building probably a shelter, so you probably got a 2-man tent with you and stuff like that, so you really don't need a shelter. You got that. You need to process firewood. You need to make maybe a place to hang stuff over your fire. There's your go-to. This, nice. I used it to cut through about 13-inch round logs at my house because I do carving. I make bowls and stuff, so this works great. Cut through it perfectly. Hiking, do I really want this? And this can do most of everything I need. Process wood down to for firewood. It can cut small trees to make a tripod to hang my pot from, so I can cook from it. And it's lighter weight. Takes up less room in my pack. But I'll show you how they both work together. Okay, let's do the big one first. Okay, there's our mark from our carnivore. Well, as you can clearly see from this one's faster than the carnivore. You know, about the same effort, I got down about twice as far. Because that's really more of a dedicated saw. And if I really wanted to, once I get it going, if I really wanted to press down, I'm not going to risk hurting myself because that ain't a blade. That's not sharp. But let's go with this one. Now, obviously, I can't stroke as far because it's not as long. But just as effective. Now, let me rephrase that. Was the longer one easier to use? Yeah, you saw that. Because why? The blade's longer, you get a longer stroke, more cutting per movement. But if you weigh that against weight, size, how much room it takes up, you know, depends again. How long are you going to be gone? If I was going to be gone for a week-long hike by myself, I wouldn't take the big one. What do I need it for? What do I really need it for? Not build, unless I'm going to build my own shelter. Now, if I said if I tell my wife, yep, I'm not taking a tent, I'm building my own, I'm taking just one of my tarps, then fine. I'll take a longer. I got even longer one at home. I got a 13.5-inch one. I'll take that. Because why? Hey, 13.5 inches long, I can cut down trees a lot easier, saves me energy. Yeah. But, you know, there's another thing I use those for. When I make traps. That smaller one to groove my triggers and stuff makes it a lot easier. That longer one, it's a little unwieldy. So the smaller one's like using a pocket knife to fillet a fish. It's a lot easier, it's smaller, it's easier to do. And yeah, even though on my multi-tool I got 2 different saws. You know, my multi-tool has 2 saws on it. Yeah. And they're not bad. They're great little saws on it, on the multi-tool itself. However, you know, they're good for some things, but if I'm just, like I said, making a trap, if I wanted to catch one of these multiple squirrels around me, and I need to make a trigger, yeah, you know what? That little saw is better. Now, the last one. So, before I show you this one, I'm just going to say it again. When it comes to folding saws, think of how much room it takes up, the weight, and do you really want to carry that much weight for the amount of time you're going to be out? I mean, now as far as those gigantic ones, you know what? Would I love to have one? Yeah, just to have it. Would I probably use it? Probably not much. I can't think of too many applications I'd need a 3-foot long blade for. I ain't cutting a tree down, not that big. because if I'm by myself, what I want? Get killed by a falling tree? Yeah, so unless I found a tree laying down that's big and I'm gonna figure, hey, it's down, I'll notch it. Yeah, I'd want that. But let's be honest, it's a little impractical. Those two sizes are the most practical sizes. Maybe, like I said, I got about a 13-inch one at home. Yeah, I could do that one. I might even go slightly more bigger. Maybe a 14 or 15-inch blade. I wouldn't go much more than that. The last one I want to do. Last one I want to do. I got a few of these at home. I'm going to show you the newest one. These are those pocket hand saws, or chainsaws, I should say. Now I chose this one over the one that has the molded plastic hand grip that's got finger grooves in it. Why? Well, you might say, well, the other one's probably easier to hold, and you're probably right. It probably is a little bit more comfortable, but I can't do one thing with it, which is I can't tie paracord to it. This you can. You can tie paracord here and have really long. If I want to cut a branch way up there that might be over my shoulder, that might look like if it breaks it could damage my tent and possibly me myself, I could throw this over it and I can stand here on the ground safely and cut it. Now there's a little bit to be said about these. All they all really are is a chainsaw blade on a holder. And I have made a couple myself out of chainsaw blades I found at Menards on sale and said, hey, you know what, take them apart, put in different ends on them, carabiner, the either carabiner or the screw type carabiner, the clip type or the screw type carabiner ends on them, and then I can run cord to it. They work, but these are ones you can buy, and since I'm doing these, I'm not saying ones you can make, I'm showing ones to buy. Bought this one off of Temu. They got several different ones where you get one shorter one like this, one long one in a kit as a set. There's like some there are 2 or 3 of them in a set. 2 of these and 1 wire saw, but I just got the standard one. Why? Because I got a couple more at home. But as you can see, you just hold it like this. There's your chainsaw blades itself, as you can see. And this one I ain't even used yet. Are they a little difficult? I'll be honest with you, they are. Let me put it this way. And like I said, you got to get these things set right to work. You don't, they don't work. So, like I said, they're not exactly the easiest thing in the world to use. As you can see, they do work once you get them well going and they don't stop. They do work. Now, you know, are they the easiest thing to use? No, they're not. Are they worth the wait? Well, it depends. What I mean by that is, when I was doing it there, you saw it throwing nice chunks of wood out. Now, if I was going by weight alone, if I took this and the smaller one, which this and the smaller one weighs a little bit more than that bigger folding saw. Well, if it's simply by weight, I would opt for this and the smaller folding saw. Why? Because now I got 2 saws for slightly more weight than just one. if I broke one saw, I still have the other. And there's other ways you can use this. I mean, I'm sure I could lay on the ground or, you know, sit like that tree behind me. If I put it this way and instead of bending over and I was to go like this to cut it down, yeah. But then again, I'm cutting it towards myself, which means the tree is going to fall towards me. But then again, my feet's right there, so I can always, as I weaken it, put my foot and push it away from me. I'm not going to tell you to do that because that could be dangerous. Cutting any tree is going to be dangerous. Okay? But you can cut that way. Not recommend it. But like I said, if I'm by myself and I really have to cut that tree for some odd reason, and maybe I figure it's a little harder to do with that saw, with either one of the folding saws, yeah, I could sit my butt on the ground, put this around the end of it, and sit there back and forth like this. And when I get it weak enough, take my foot to push it, you know, and so it don't hit me. Yeah. I can always straddle this tree and come underneath of it like this. Make sure the blades are going the right way. If I wanted to cut this one, come up from behind, run underneath. As you've seen, it cuts. Has no trouble cutting. It's a little hard on the hands. It is a little hard on the hands. I would probably want gloves on. I probably definitely wouldn't wear my rings because it's very hard on the hands. But like I said, there's more than one way to use this. You can tie paracord onto it. If you want to cut something high up, you throw one end of the paracord over, get it where you want it, and then you can sit on the ground and cut. Yeah, works. It's a little hard on hands. Some of them are not as easy, but it's definitely, for the weight, yeah, it's worth it. But here's one other thing I want to say on any saw. When you go in the woods and you're carrying one, whether it's this or any of those, make sure you carry a small, either a set or a couple of small files so you can keep them sharp. Because, you know, just like a knife, if you have a dull knife, it don't really cut, neither do these. And a sharpening stone ain't going to do it. There are some sharpening stones out there, or knife sharpeners out there, I should say, that have a little rod in them. So you got, and those are the best ones. I've got a few of them. I like them the best because it has a ceramic sharpener. Basically, it hones it. You have the knife sharpener itself, and then you have the rod that you can flip out to sharpen stuff like this, or the backs of the knife that has a saw on it. So, with that being said, you know, you should always, like I said, a lot of these saws, they all work, okay? But it's how hard you have to work to get it to work. A lot of people nowadays, I know, they want these gigantic things. I don't know why. Like I said, if I had one, and the silky ones cost around $300 and $400 or more. Would I want one? Just to have it, yes. Just to say I got it, but how much would I actually use it? They're really impractical. I've watched it on loan, a guy's got one on this season, and I'm like, why are you out there with that thing? How big of a tree do you think you're chopping? You know, how big of a tree do you think you're chopping down? You're cutting down. Why are you trying to cut something down this big? I would never even dream of it. Smaller trees are faster, and they're easier to carry. You You know, I don't care if I chopped it down to 10-foot sections. I don't want to roll a tree this big around at 10 feet long. That thing's gonna weigh that chunk is gonna weigh several hundred pounds. I don't want to waste my energy doing that. So smaller trees are faster to cut down, use less energy. You can move them a lot faster and build your shelter a lot quicker than trying to build something to be like a log cabin mansion. I mean, sorry. Even the Beverly Hillbillies don't have a log cabin mansion because it's dumb. So stick with something that's more sensible, and these are relatively cheap. You know, I think I paid $22 for the yellow one. The other ones come in those kits. And before you think, well, they're junk, you know what? Camillus is not a bad brand. Yeah, they used to be a lot better than they are today, but they're not too bad. And just think, some of the stuff in them, I will say this, some of the stuff in those kits at Christmas time, when my wife buys them for me, or my grandson pulls one down to hand to daddy to buy me. Some of the stuff I just pitch. I put in a box. I don't use it. Because why? They're junk crap. The knives are good, are not too bad. The saws are not bad at all. The shovels are not bad, but the little whistles, the this, the that, they're junk. Okay? I don't want to break my grandson's heart or anything like that, or my wife's heart. I just put them in a box and let them sit. So there are good parts in them, but they're not that expensive. You don't need to spend 60 bucks or 80 bucks for a 10-inch blade saw. Now don't buy a pruning blade because they're pruning. They're for trimming, pruning up your tree. They're not that great at sawing through heavier stuff. So you want something like a standard wood saw blade, like these. And for most things that you'll ever need in the woods, those are it. The knife, like the carnivore with the built-in saw, that is a real saw. Yes, you saw it did cut. It did saw good. Will it work? Yeah, but it wouldn't be my go-to saw. I might use it for grooving if I didn't have the for some odd reason. If I didn't want to take my other saw, if I didn't want to open up my other saw for some reason, and I just wanted to, I'll just use it. It's great for grooving and stuff like that, or if I'm already using it and I'm cutting something, I'm like, hey, I need to groove it, I can flip it over, cut my groove in it. Excellent for that. Can it cut a tree down? Yeah, it can. It's just going to take forever because it's a short amount of blade. You know, it's about 9 inches, but the other one, like you can say, well, hey, the small folding saw is about the same size of blade. Yeah, it is. But it's got an easier handle to cut with. When you flip that carnivore over, you lose that grip like you would for the blade. So it's not the easiest to saw with. But I hope you found this interesting, informative. If you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. I'm planning a lot more stuff. I got another place I can go to, so we're talking about building, how to properly use these augers that you could buy to actually build your shelter. A shelter that's going to last for a long time. So please stick to me. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends know. And I'll see you to the next video.